Global Virtual Solutions. Global Virtual.
Whether or not Alex still has that bottle of pineapple wine remains to be seen. But this list of champions of this event is very deep. Rush Randall's won it, Robbie Nash has won it, Sean Ordonez has won it. And there's a literally long accomplished list of guys who have gotten in and ripped here. Mark Angulo, 1988. Really landmark win over Kalama. Fast forward to 2013, and here's Josh Stone with Keith DeBull outside of him. Stone's going to get the first of this exchange, and he wraps it around really aggressively. That was like Josh Stone doing the Keith DeBull thing off that. Here he reverts back to his old self, gets a little tail throw out of the air, a little bit sticky on the landing as Keith sees this and just draws a skateboard bottom turn with a vertical reentry. How are these little boards Keith's got working? It is so impressive to see Keith ride small boards as if he's surfing without a sail out there. That's his approach. I promise you, Keith's trying to surf it as much as he can, as well as anybody, if not better. And right now, Keith's just putting on a bit of a clinic, I have to say. He's ripping out there. To be back here, guys. So many years passed without this event happening, and as we reflect on that, Wakipa just keeps delivering. We are so blessed on this tour to have these conditions here and to be at this location and to be able to do this. And I'm not just talking about the AWT, I'm talking about the PWA too. And we're going to be able to verse on those subjects for the next 2 weeks. But the fact that both of these fleets are here, to me, speaks volumes about both tours. And we have brought the best in the world here. And they're here to do battle. Make no bones about it. Right now, the battle's between Keith DeBull and Josh Stone. And Josh, on his Goya sail, finds himself in a bit of a predicament, honestly. I think he has gotten a little rattled here. He's not quite in the flow of things like he normally is. And it all started on the second exchange when he went down. He knows he's got to get 2 scores, and he's got about 6 minutes left to do it. So, you got 14 minutes. You can have a terrible, terrible heat up to the point and then just put it together for the last 2, and it's all that matters. 2 waves are going to count here. It's your top 2 scores. And Josh Stone knows this. I've seen him come from behind a million times. Right now, that's what he's got to do, in my opinion. I've not got a score sheet in front of me, but I will tell you that I think Keith DeBull's in command right now. And I'll try and lay off my own opinions. I really promise to do that. But bit of a lull in the exchange here. Take a break. Hang on.
I'm thinking I might announce who the winners were because I can see it over there.
Just give me the hand. Okay, so far, advancing out of these heats today, so far, was Matt Pritchard. Yours truly here advanced out of heat number 2. Masahiro Motohashi out of heat 3. And we're still waiting to hear about Stone's heat. We will get to that result in a second. And the results of heat number 4 are the following. We got Laurent Guillemot in first. And that was before we got online. Obviously, he had a salvo of scores before we got live here. Stone puts together a wave ride here before I announce these wave rides. Papa Stone definitely got something in that. Kicks out. It was one of those upper sets. You know, he's trying to fight back here. Keith can hold priority in the lineup. He's not going to be as mobile as Josh, but he is outside, so he's got first dibs here should something significant come in. Okay, back to the results. Like I said, Laurent Guillemot in first, Harley Stone in second, Chris Freeman in third. So basically the result of that is in round 3 you'll find Guillemot, and Stone and Freeman need to battle their way up there. We've got plenty of heats to go through before we get to round 3, and there's going to be a lot of serious battles to get to. I'm seeing names like Graham Ezzy, Levi Siver, Morgan Noiro, Fabrice Beau, Francisco Porchella, Brian Metcalf Perez, Skylar Haywood, Russ Farrow, Barrett Rodinger's in the next heat. These are gnarly shredders. Gnarly shredders here. And you'd expect nothing less. All right, Keith to Boots, Kiki to Bull, right there on the point, and he has his target set. And like some sort of heat-seeking missile, he's on the top of this wave, and he is going to throw some heat on this lip. I stand corrected. He's going to kick out of that wave, and that might have been the smart thing to do. He's got 3 minutes to better his 2 scores and see if Josh Stone, quite frankly, can get in this. And this is a good wave for Stone. Josh Stone sets up a really good-looking bottom turn there, brings it back around, fair curtain of spray, fair play. There's a couple turns left in this nugget as it makes its way to the point. But unfortunately for Josh, freestyle's going to count, and that was the most important thing he could have done out of a flat section was an air taka, and the judges are going to be forced to reward that. I don't think that's necessarily the best air taka that Josh has ever done, but you pull that in a heat, and let's not be surprised if that just pulled Josh Stone dead even in this heat. So let's just call this one close, you guys. That's the bottom line. With 2 minutes and change here, Keith the Bull's setting up on the point, but I don't think he likes what he saw there on the initial one. Wisely choosing the second wave, that's good logic out here. You really rarely want to go on the first wave of the set out here, Hukipa. But number 2's looking just fine. And he leaves Stone with nothing to work with on the outside as Keith the Bull drops in. Once again, sets his sights on the point. And Mr. Tabul off the point. Pumps into his bottom turn, sights the lip, gets a vertical snap, and that is what I'm talking about, you guys. You would need a slow-mo to even appreciate that turn. But we who saw it here live definitely have seen it before, and Keith just snapped the top of that one. Unfortunately for him, that was the only thing he did on that wave. I don't think the judges are going to feel obliged to make that score higher than any of his other waves. Then again, I'm not a judge, so I can't tell you for sure. Well, here comes Josh Stone, and he's answering back in a big way. Fends off a couple turtles and gets this wave to himself. And this is one of the better waves of the heat, you guys. And this is how you do it. This is how people claw their way back into things here. Second turn, good amount of spray off the top. He's really winding his bottom turn well. Hits the lip. Second time, floater down all the way through to the channel. Josh Stone's definitely back in this heat. He's put a bit of pressure on Keith here. We've got under a minute to go, about 40 seconds here. I would go as far as to say that most likely this is pretty close to spoken for, y'all. And what do we got? 29 seconds. Keith DeBull's going to get a finishing score here. Keith's actually going to get under this thing and find himself the last scoring wave of this heat. This is where Keith can make or break it right here. Keith DeBull off the bottom, off the fade, and into the lip vertically again. These are really aggressive bottom turn off the lip combos from Keith. He's throwing really good spray. That's his second combo on this wave. Wavering a little bit out the back, but you know what? We're not going to complain about that. That was a pretty thorough score from Keith. A really good heat from Keith. He came to play today. And Josh is probably kind of wondering what else he could have done there. I think Keith probably feels like he did about as good as he could do on what he had to work with out there. Time for a break. We'll be right back. actually. And it's time to, put the afterburners on, get in position, pray to mana from heaven that you get this last set and seal the deal. Guys, it's not rocket science. You want to be on the best waves. That's the bottom line. If you're good enough to get the best waves, if you're good enough to do something on that best wave, all of a sudden you're not competing with 60 other guys out there. It's you and a few others. You can start dictating the pace in this lineup. Spanu, keeps swinging here, and he's impressive because he's got a good count. What he needs to do is make this wave really score. So as it breaks down the line, he goes for the air and re-enters. It's a really clean. It's the only thing he did on the wave. So the judges are going to be challenged, really, how much can you reward that over a 4-turn? We're going to see that a lot today. We're going to see guys get lots of turns and then guys get the singular aerial hit, and it's really a matter of opinion. But I think it's pretty self-evident that if you link a bunch of turns together, you can expect a good score. And that's going to be up to the wave as much as anything. With 30 seconds to go, Russ Farrow has a nice Embol nugget here. Pulls a kind of a late line on that. Really wants to get under the lip. Does a 360 and is unsuccessful. It was worth a try, Russ. I really think that was the right thing to do there. Push it.
This thing doesn't go. This thing doesn't go 6-4.
Let the judges decide. Well, the announcer called it a big back loop, but I'm going to call that a small back loop from Spanu, and it's not going to count because judges don't score jumps right now. And that is the end of the heat, guys. That was a close battle. In fact, probably one of the closer heats we've had all day. Yeah, good action here. Good action here at Hokipa. Once again, you are watching the 2013 AWT PWA Aloha Classic from Hokipa Beach Park on Maui. And we are very proud to be sponsored by JP, County of Maui. A huge list of sponsors coming up here. And it's all good, you guys. We've got Hokipa firing effectively for the first time in a couple weeks. This is that really sacred period in Maui, the late October, early November window. All the years past has always produced these kind of conditions. We're transitioning from fall to winter. We still have a little bit of remnant summer trades going on, though you wouldn't have thought so the last couple of weeks. This is the second windy day in weeks here. So you tell me if we're getting lucky right now. The forecast was for 10 knots today. I'd say we've got at least that. This is way better than I expected, guys, that's for sure. So, the mojo continues. No two ways about it. All right. Up next, according to my records, is Michael Archer, Leo Ray, and Nagoshi. And that's Leo Ray warming up on the Nash sail. You got Mike Archer in the center of your picture on the Simmer blacktip, squeaking out. He's kind of a bigger guy. And that must be Nagoshi on the sail upwind. No, there are a lot of pro guys who are coming up from lanes, so let me double check on the ID on Nagoshi. We do have the heat started. Yep, that's official, guys. Heat's on. Okay, Nagoshi is on that gaster that you see right there in front of you. That is a gaster sail, yes. So there's your trio. You don't see him in the picture, but Nagoshi's the guy tacking on that wave who's probably going to open up the scoring here. Leo Ray and Mike Archer haven't really entered the lineup, and they've got 13 minutes to do so. Meanwhile, Nagoshi, he's not going to wait for them. In fact, he's ready to kick some butt here. And with a couple good turns on a rippable little insider, Nagoshi's on the scoreboard. Say no more. Negoshi's on the board. Leo Ray's going to tack out of this opportunity. He's going to get pretty selective, I think. Fair enough. We're in really good shape here, you guys. We've got a good early jump on the day. It's only noon and change. And we're trying to get through the AWT bracket of this 2013 Aloha Classic. And then the main event can begin. Mike Archer off the point. Powerful sailor. He's not going to back down from this lip. He certainly didn't. I give him an A for effort. The judges will probably give him less. Unfortunately, he's swimming for his rig too. So while all that transpires, Leo Ray has tacked. And this is your first tactical situation here. I think Leo Ray blundered. He tacked too early. He gave the inside edge to Negoshi. There's no etiquette here. Leo Ray has no rights to this wave whatsoever. He has to watch Negoshi and hope there's something out the back. That was a rookie move by Leo Ray. And he realizes it. So Negoshi, taking advantage of his mobility and his competitive savvy, he's going to go straight to the lip on this. And there you go. He's got 2 scores now. We have a typo error here in that it's not Negoshi, it's Noguchi. My bad, and thank you, Yunko, for alerting me to that. I thought he was your brother or something. Noguchi. And I'm just reading what's in front of me, so I thought there was something weird about that, even though Yunko could beat any guy in this heat. But anyway, Noguchi is your Japanese national on the Gastra. And upwind, we have Leo Ray, who carefully selected a wave that was going to be a good runner, kind of got some contact, a bit of a lateral approach to that, and goes down on the inside, hopefully didn't hit the bottom. At least he fell late in that wave ride. He's going to get some form of a score there. What I think you saw from Leo Ray there was he was tired of not going on waves, tired of not getting his first score, wanted to make something happen, capitalize. He's got a score. He made the most of that situation. But right now, Noguchi has really taken control of this heat by just riding 2 good waves. There is 9 minutes and change left in this. But right now, if you're a guy like Noguchi and you've got a good, comfortable lead, you can start sitting on the lineup. You can start letting those insiders go through. You can start letting guys like Mike Archer and Leo Ray scrap for the scraps. Because you've got a lead. You can protect it. There are a lot of things that Noguchi can do right now to ensure that his lead stays intact. A guy like Leo Ray's got to sneak a couple under the nose here. Tactically speaking, Leo Ray needs to stay upwind, let things transpire a little bit. Noguchi definitely is taking the tactical end of things, and look at this big nugget on the outside. This is what I'm telling you guys. You can start playing selectively. Excuse me. And it's going to favor you. Because you can afford to be patient. And if you can afford to be patient, you can afford to wait for a wave like this to come in. And I'll take you through it. All of you guys watching at home. Here's Noguchi off the bottom. Classic Hokipa up Green Tree side. He's not going to let that lack of wind off the bottom stop him. 2 lay down bottom turns. And a nice scoring wave. Meanwhile, out the back, as Noguchi pumps in, Leo Ray with his opening salvo, a little bit more on the point. It's going to give him a little bit more room to run. Leo Ray, he finds daylight at the end section. We've all seen these guys do battle before. You know, I wouldn't say Noguchi is a stranger to this lineup. Mike Archer is kind of a new face. And that being said, he's taking a pretty aggressive approach to this heat. All right, you guys. Results from Heat 7. Looks like Russ Faro pulled in front there. First place for Russ Faro, second place for Haywood, and third for Spanu. And Russ, you know, that's case in point. You keep swinging, you guys. You keep swinging at the fences. And there's no doubt in my mind, Russ sealed the deal on that first place night heat late in the game. But he played it pretty cool customer there. And he's into the third round. Just like he planned. Okay, off the point from the UK, Michael Archer on the black simmer, black tip, holds a high line through the top, and here's his classic bonnet turn. You really see that he's done the research. He wants a bonnet turn, he wants to be aggressive, just a little mistiming there. Meanwhile, Noguchi finds the honey hole here, right off the bottom, squares it. He's not going to back down either. Noguchi's in control of this heat, you guys. And with 6 minutes and change, he really just needs to put the foot down. Good sailing from Noguchi, no doubt about it. Leo Ray trying to scrape into some sort of challenging potential here. I think he's watching Archer Water start and realizes this is a battle between him and Noguchi now. And Leo Ray's got a deep bag. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries some sort of rotation here. No, he's going to play it safe with the fins-free aerial. He's going to get his second turn under the lip. The Festa are going to hit the water next. Heat number 11. Unfortunately for Sean Aiken, that wave's not going to count. He caught that right after the buzzer. I don't think he's going to get the score. I don't see the judges scoring it because they're changing their tabs. So nope. Sean Aiken treating it as a one-wave move wave. And essentially he's got a little bit to work with on his score sheet, and it remains to be seen really what the judges are going to reward. You know, these one move waves. It's interesting. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as some people would have liked to have had them be, and that's just my opinion. We are in transition. Famous words. We're all pro women, Sam. We love women. What are you going to call it? The anti-women heat? Come on. All right. With plenty to play for here, you guys. We could just get together and talk story at the beach and say, you know, what's going to happen. But when you got a panel of judges talking story, it's a whole different ball game. And let me tell you, don't think for a second that all those sessions and the free sailing and all that don't carry over a little bit. The judges know who's who. What we really want to see are people sailing up to their level of potential. I'm not going to say that everybody doesn't change their strategy. The second you get a jersey on and a heat horn blast happens, you sail differently in contests than you do in free sailing, up to a point. But the guys who compete the best are the guys who can free sail in the heats, basically. It's that simple. Okay, Miller, Lee, and Festa are out there, and that's Lee on the Goya sail with the opening salvo. He's got a cool style. Do you see how much Relly put in that cutback? He was like, whah! Well, couple good little karate chops on that one for him. Lee's a really aggressive sailor. Another thing he's really good at is freestyle. You see that guy, you know, Nakanaha doing all kinds of gnarly flockas and rotations, and he's got a really good bag of tricks. He's a well-rounded sailor. I think he's a graduate of the amateur class as well. He's one of those guys that we don't need to call a sandbagger. The sandbagger. A sandbagger's like a guy who just continuously wins the amateur division and then stays there. A pretty good description, eh? I mean, like, okay, I won the amateur division, right, or whoever, like, and now I'm going to stay there just so I got my win, and I'm going to be like the perennial amateur champion. It's like, no, dude. If you won the amateurs, you're done. You're done. You graduate and you're a pro for the rest of your life until you're a master or a senior or whatever. Believe me, you're going to hear about it, like, if you are sandbagging. We won't let people get into that position. And we don't have sandbaggers here. That's case in point, Chris Freeman. He's competing in the pros. Jae-Hung Lee here, he's competing in the pros. And it's a great thing about the AWT is that we've got that. We've got the ability, to get people in a non-pressure situation. You want to compete amateur, then you do that. And the pressure's off. Now we're not going to, think that, those credentials carry over into getting sponsorships and whatever. We see those guys occasionally, got all the sponsors in the world on their sales and their boards, and they're competing in the amateurs. Well, we don't do that in the AWT. We don't let people do that. If you're amateur, you don't have sponsors. You're pro if you do. Anyway, a very sponsored and aggressive sailor for the Goya team is Jake Miller. And he's upwind as we speak on his red board, gets a little bottom turn for his multi-fin board. That is now into his second turn. Fairly aggressive hacks happening for Miller, who happens to be a black belt in karate and occasionally shows that prowess out in the water with the one-hander for the finish. I don't think the judges missed that. And the judges will, bite their fingernails a little bit on that and figure, we'll give them a little something for it. Anyway, Lee's upwind. And without too much of an introduction, I will let him demonstrate his style with that very aggressive cutback again. But that might have slowed him down for whatever remained on that wave, and he cuts out. All right. Really getting a lot of love here on the feeds. Thanks, you guys, for the kind words on the commentary. I really, really appreciate it. Makes my motor mouth even more motory. Love the coffee, too. Jae-Hung Lee, you were looking at him to bury his outside rail on that cutback, and that time he just pushed it a little too far. And Hokipa was like, what, brah? Schwack. All right, Jake Miller setting up for kind of what would be a middle peak wave, but it's going to go pretty quick. And at least times that first opening salvo to get his second turn in. That's more than a one-hit wave. It's probably not a heat-winning wave, but what it does is it keeps him squarely in the game here. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I thought that was worth, but I will tell you that he completed the wave ride, and that when it's all said and done, he's in contention. This would be kind of one of those runs when these guys are powered going out. If you see Lee here, he's probably like lined up for a pretty fat jump, but realizing that jumping doesn't count, it's not going to jump. Now, as we take a close look at this lineup and Lee's setting up for a wave, I wish he'd look behind him because the better wave is behind him. That's 2020 hindsight armchair quarterbacking for you, but it's what I do. Lee with that trademark cutback. He's going to put that rail in every time, apparently, with that, nominal amount of spray. I think Lee's kind of a case in point where the wave selection needs to step up a little bit. He's got to open his eyes and look around and see what is behind him. There was nobody on that wave behind him, and that would have been a bigger score for him. And it's easy to get kind of locked in and psyched out because you're looking at your watch just as much as you're doing anything else. But the reality is you've got to be aware, and you've got to make the most of your opportunities. Jake Miller, he had a choice to make. He's going to go on the first wave here. That's not a bad decision at all. Miller's setting it up off the bottom. He's going to make some lip contact right there, and that's what we like to see. We like to see contact, but we need to see the completion of the maneuver as well. And Jake just had a little bit too much of a head of steam, and it throws him out the back. Kind of the equivalent of a missed nunchuck hit there. And he fails to connect. Lee, meanwhile, well, he's back up and at it. And he's just opened up the door for Jake, who's got the better wave behind him. And I think it would be a big mistake if Miller passes this wave by. And Miller heard me, and he's jibed. And Jae-Hung Lee, he's just bogged rail again in full view of everybody. And Jake Miller really put himself in contention, even with one move right there. I think the judges are going to be compelled to at least give him something for that. And people are dropping like flies all around Jake Miller. I don't really necessarily buy into the fact that we've got this solid situation here. But as we move forward, you're going to see it. You're going to see it develop. You're going to see the guys who know how to compete versus the guys who are a little green around the edges and the competition scheme of things. Now, this next round's going to dictate quite a bit. We've got 5 minutes and change in this heat. What feels like a bit of a freshening breeze here. Rob, try and find a chair. All right. Well, we got results from Heat 10 as people are jockeying around outside. And Jae-Hung Lee actually picking up a wave. Advancing out of Heat 10 and in first place. I'm proud of Sean Aiken for pulling that through. Just must have squeaked on Metcalf Perez there, Jeffrey Henderson in third. So Aiken's put himself in good standing. He's a really savvy competitor. He knows how to do it. And we got Jae-Hung Lee on the inside with Jake Miller on a good size set. Hits it for, and it's going to take him home to the point. Jake Miller really with the, and we can sit here and point at where you should be, but it's a different story if you're looking it out through our eyes.
Well, Nick must be listening to us because he's in the right spot.
I didn't need to tell Nick a single thing.
Oh.
And I mean, I feel like telling him right now, maybe try and get your score, but I think what Nick's doing, he knows he's young. He knows he's got a lot of years out here. And it's just simply a case of feeling his way through the lineup. I went to Pistol River with Nick 3 years ago, and this first heat he ever sailed in his life, he just took a beeline downwind for the free sailing zone and did his heat down there. And we're like, actually, Nick, you need to sail down. So now he's sailing in the real competitor zone. He's making it. I learned a little bit.
Here, Ferdinando got upwind again.
Ferdinando, here comes the trademark air, and he's probably going to back his head through there. No, he didn't get the head bob, but that was nice and aggressive. Unfortunately, a one-move wave. And I don't know what that looked like on the score sheets, but I know that you can't fall back on one hit wave and think that that's going to be what you need to do. You need to repeat it. You need to get multiple hits. It's quite simply put.
Ain't that wave. Got some wind coming up, though. It's getting
It seems like it's coming up, but what I'm really noticing more than anything is that it's holding its side-on shore direction.
It sure is.
And as it might be picking up, I don't think we're going to see it much windier than this.
I agree.
This is probably going to hold true. Here goes Nick today, who would probably just, plays it safe, a little straight shot.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
Jason Stone. And he goes down, and he did that same maneuver that his nephew did.
He did, his nephew Harley. It was a little bit of a blown op there.
But we got to see the bottom of his feet.
We did. Nice to see he got his pedicure.
Now we got to get Jason in to get his stuff before. He's going to be past the rocks. He'll be all right.
It's not going to take a rescue, though. I don't think that a little $10,000 jet ski wants to get any closer to those rocks anyway. You know, I'll tell you, Jason better swing because that rig might go, woo.
No, he's got it. He's fine.
Okay, we're watching Nick today on his brand new 4.5 2014 Simmer Halo. And that is a colorful looking sail, I tell you. There's no mistaking who he is. Man, he's got all the colors in the spectrum there.
Yeah, he does. Okay, Jason off. He's made it out past the rocks. How are we doing on time?
Time check is right at 5 minutes on the nose. Thanks for reminding me, Rob. And that tells you people at home that this is the last part of the heat here. This is where stuff starts counting. Everything's been pre-positional now. Nick Duday knows this is an important wave in this heat. And he's waited for this moment. And there's really going to be no messing around here. He's going straight to the lip. He's going to take it home. And as far as I'm concerned, he's a really up-and-coming guy who's watched everybody and anybody and taken his notes. And that's a good, safe wave ride from Nick.
Yeah, that is.
And I'm proud of him for not really trying to be flashy or somebody who's not right there.
No,
he just blasted 3 really good hits on that.
Very nice floater right
Nick
there.
Duday with his highest score for sure of the heat right there. No doubt about it. Judges will recognize that as his highest scoring wave. Puts him somewhat in this game. I mean, that was no one move wave there. That was multiple hits in succession. And that's what
That's a good example of what you're saying, the one maneuver that Ferdinando did, and Nick not only finished it off with that, but he started it off with a full wave.
Even gave himself like that one extra one after the extra. Exactly. He's like, okay, oh yeah.
Okay, let's see how Fernando does on this one. See if he does the same thing.
Ferdinando having an opportunity to get multiple turns, but he's going to beeline it.
Same maneuver.
He's going to go for one aerial, and he's done.
Okay.
And I don't think even he really wanted to do that, but he realizes that's what he got. Ferdinando maybe not putting a ton of pressure on himself right now. I don't think he's really like doing anything other than enjoying the moment and being out there. Yeah, throwing it a little competitively, but I mean, you and I up here, we know he needed to do more than that.
Oh, yes. We do know.
How we doing in Twitter field world? We got any questions or comments worth noting? Also, anybody on the Twitter feed, if there's a guest you'd like us to have up, we're welcome to inviting them up on the webcast to have a word. I'd love to have a word with anyone from Robbie Nash to any of the PWA guys who are not sailing yet. Some of the contenders for world titles, maybe a Traversa or a Mussolini come up, or maybe even we can get Coster to come talk about his Sokepa sailing. It'd be great. Promise to be polite. Nick Duday again. Look at the kid running. We've done talking about him. There goes the halo in action again. Nick Duday definitely took advantage of whatever was given to him there, and that was a 1-2 punch. He caught 2 waves in under 2 minutes right there.
Okay, Jason Stone.
Jason Stone, unfortunately, getting a little blocked by Ferdinando, and he's got to go run for the run.
Still going to get a little bit, and he comes out of that. Nice, Jason, but he's not going to. Oh, he is going to pull it off.
No,
there it is. Yeah, he did. That's a Stone if I know a Stone. But how is that? You get Jason Stone having sailed a few years over here. You get Sean Aiken coming back.
How's Aiken? How great. Timeless is that guy?
Yes.
Relevant to what he's able to do.
Okay.
All right.
Looks like our faces are better for radio.
We're good. They saw us.
You got plenty of airtime.
This is really cool, you guys. Think about it, like, we're live at Sokepa.
This is killer.
How cool is that? Seriously. I mean, we would be joking about this 10 years ago, like, live from Sokepa. But that is exactly what and where we are. And anybody at home out there, be it Asia, Australia, Africa, New Zealand, Europe.
South Africa.
We're South Africa, mate. you are welcome to chime in and bring yourself onto the Twitter feed with any questions or comments. We welcome it.
Big props to Live Maui Webcast for bringing this to me.
Yes, big props to Maui Live Webcast for being our broadcast sponsor this year and our partner. And give us your feedback on the reception as well. And like I said, what a pleasure to be live from Hokipa. Modern technology at its finest.
I do remember the Maui Grand Prix that was on TV in 1981. That was on CBS. I could not believe it. Seeing Mike Waltz and Matt Schweitzer going through, hitting those slalom boards, hitting just massive airs. Matt Schweitzer especially.
Is that what brought you to Maui, Rob? That contest on TV?
That really had a lot to do with it.
Would you honestly say that there are no two ways, like a windsurfing broadcast, right there, you're like, that is what I'm going to do?
Well, I couldn't believe it when I first came here. I always tell this story. The first day here, I was watching these people sail. It's a decent-sized day, like mast high, and first person I see, I couldn't believe ripping the wave, and the first person I saw, right away, that I thought I wanted to be like, was Debbie Brown. I couldn't believe it.
The Ku'a Queen herself, one of my favorite women sailors as well. If not my all-time favorite is Debbie Brown. Sam wants to get in the mix here, and we'll be talking about Sam soon when she goes and sails her heat. But one thing I will say about Sam is thank you, Sam, for bringing us this event.
Oh, I love it. Sam's, in my book, is a hero.
She's totally a hero.
Did you know that we're running round 2 of the pro after this?
Correct. Round 2 of the pros is going to be anybody who didn't advance in first place out of the first round. And then we're going to run the pro women, and I think that might be all the time we have for today. I wouldn't be surprised if... what was the timing on that, Sam? What was the timing on that with the heats? You think we'll get through women and be done, or?
No. We'll do 3.
Oh, I don't know if we'll get through 3, dude. That's 5:30. We're on commercial? Okay, guys, in between this heat transition, we'll go to commercial really quickly for a word from our supporting sponsors. Thank you for joining us for the 2013 Aloha Classic. Be back soon.
I'm Robbie Swift. My Maui Ultra Fins are X-Thruster.
Welcome back, everybody. You just missed Graham Ezzy nail a perfect goiter. We might need a replay on that, you guys. Gear up a replay of Graham Ezzy's perfect goiter. That's the move of the day so far, first of all.
I got a production truck here.
Oh, I guess this isn't ESPN.
It might not be ESPN, but that was one of those da-na-na moments.
Yes, it definitely was.
And he nailed it. That was like definitely on the top 10 plays of the day, you guys. And if it doesn't make it to ESPN, I'll be pissed. Dream on, yeah. We've all been on ESPN before, bro. Back in the 90s, O'Neill was on. We were sitting there watching ourselves on TV a week later. So, ESPN should serve notice. This is some of the most flowing water sports you're going to see. These guys are in such tune with what really boils down to one of the gnarlier Hawaiian reef breaks in the island chain.
Oh, it is.
No question about it. And this is a two-man heat here. It's Graham Ezzy and Tom Jubon. And a little Grom Tom on the inside there. Hopefully he didn't see Graham Ezzy's perfect goiter, because if he did, he might as well just go in. But he knows how to answer, and he's going to answer. Graham Ezzy's going to answer too. And Graham Ezzy, let me tell you, he's come a long way.
Nice.
That
was it one-handed at the end?
Okay, look.
There's your Ivy Leaguer.
You guys, Graham Ezzy's going to be on ESPN tonight. But before he's on ESPN, he's going to be on our highlight reel because his last 2 scoring wave rides were highlight reel material. I mean, that was a stalled out tail first. I'm thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. Let me read a little bit about it. Then he went around on the Taka. And that was no mistake. He made that happen. It was super impressive. Graham Ezzy just served notice that these trials are just as gnarly as the main event. I promise you guys, you're seeing some of the best action right here.
Is this Tong Juban right here?
Tong Juban.
Backdoor this?
Well, you know, we're proud of him for hitting that section, and he just, you know, drew a pair on that. Well done, Tom. It's going to count for something.
Yes, it is.
I mean, because basically the alternative was him not hitting that lip and having us really let him know about it, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We'd have gone, rookie, come on, you got to hit that.
Right. Now, Graham Ezzy, not any stranger to competition here at Hokipa, but also, you know, you're looking at somebody who doesn't necessarily value competition as his priority in his career. He is somebody, he likes to sell his place in Hawaii they call toes. And his portac is awesome.
Oh, it is.
Super well-rounded sailor. Totally capable of winning the AWT. Totally capable of winning a name event at Hokipa or anywhere else for that matter. He's carved himself a good niche. I mean, he's got this spot in the Philippines, super dialed in. Kingfisher that he helped discover himself. And it's all set up. Fabrice has a really good career. And he's making movies, doing films. Porcello, just a textbook gouging rail bottom turn cutback combo. I'd say that right now Porcello is really kind of, you know, let it be known that you're going to pretty much go through me right now if you're going to sail in this heat. Porcello's set the standard. I really think that he's done that. Francini and Bo, they're doing great. There's style oozing through Porcello's veins. I mean, seriously, the guy has the ability to apply it.
How are we doing on time?
2 minutes, 30 seconds left in this heat. And a heat that definitely has, you know, seen maybe Fabrice Bo and Francisco Porcella kind of, their other guys seem to be contending for this first place slot. What Fabrice Bo has done here is he's put himself on a really good size set wave in the middle. And he's going to pretty much get one all the way through here if he plays his cards right with a really good opening fade. And Fabrice is going to town here.
Oh, he's got
really nice wave. One of the best waves of the heat for sure, if not the best wave. Really good position here. He's reading the wave perfectly. As it comes to the bull, he gets the floater off the lip. Fabrice Bo definitely put together a good wave ride there. Good late hit off the white water.
That was a really good scoring wave for Fabrice there.
What do you like about Fabrice in terms of his bottom turn? What do you think that's all about?
To me, I think he knew that wave was a little bit faster, so he didn't want to really drive into it too hard to go too vertical because he would have missed the rest of the section of the wave.
That's exactly right. I think he played that kind of contest mentality. As Andrea Francini looks like he's got a one-hitter that he better hit if he wants to get into this battle, and he hits it all right. Francisco Porcello on the outside, definitely on one of his better waves of the heat, and he's going to hit that thing vertical and continue down the line as we hear his father announcing on the point, and he goes for the 360, and that denied him. At least his rig survived, and that's a testimony to our Simmer product there. He's a very good test pilot for at least that.
That's for sure. If he can't break it, it ain't going to break.
Pretty much. We all remember Francisco fondly for that wipeout he took at Jaws Christmas 2009. Something that probably is not like his proudest moment of his career, but certainly one of the things when you talk about Francisco Porcello and things that first comes up, oh, remember that wipeout at Jaws, oh my gosh. It's a little frustrating for him because he's so much better than just wiping out at Jaws, but I think the main thing to take away from that is not only did he survive that, but he handled it, and that's a pounding that not everybody could have taken.
That's for sure.
So that's his response to any of you all. It's like, oh, wipeout, haha. It's like, yeah, haha, you want to be in that position? No, you don't.
That's the term. He ain't scared.
He ain't scared. But you can kind of see a slight recklessness in his style He's calculated enough. He knows when he needs to go for a score. But in contrast, you see Fabrice Beau with this very controlled, calculated. He's aware of the score tally. Everything he does is based at getting the score.
He's extremely smart.
That's going to be the last scoring wave of this heat, and Fabrice is on it. I think you might score Francini's wave. Portel's not going to get a score. But Fabrice should and will get scored on this wave, and we'll see if this is a difference maker. It's only going to offer him 1 or 2 moves. So down and below, he gets the 360. It doesn't give it to him. He's done. Heat's over.
Are you in?
I'm Robbie Swift. My Maui Ultra Fins are X-thrusted.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the 2013 Aloha Classic AWT Pro Qualifying event for the PWA. Just started this heat, and I will find out what competitors are in it here for you. So in this heat, we have Marco Bozzi, Brian Metcalf Perez, and Jesse Brown. I actually don't. Duncan, are we in 17? Okay, we have Brian Metcalf Perez setting up for this really nice wave that's setting up really nice. Going to take the high line down to the ball section. There he is. Nice little off the top. Straighten out. Hey, Brian. Oh, it looks like he got blown off the top of that wave. Brian's a well-known freestyler. He's actually starting to make a good name for himself riding waves. Unbelievably friendly man and loves to sail. I think he hails from the gorge.
Yes, he does.
Kind of a little lull in the action while the competitors try to get back upwind. Got our water patrol crew, the Walsh twins, DK and Sean Walsh, the younger brothers of Ian Walsh. Excuse me, if any of you know who Ian Walsh is, a professional surfer on the ASP, big wave surfer. All these guys are born and raised in Kuau, Maui, which is right next to Paia and right next to Hokipa. Okay, here comes Brian setting up for a nice wave. He's fading to his left, stayed upwind. Nice turn. Brian's bouncing around a little bit. It's getting windy on the wave now. Nice wave for Brian. 4 or 5 good turns. This is Jesse Brown. Jesse, a veteran of Hokipa. Missed his first heat, but he's making up for it now. Nice turn off the top of his rail there. Oh, and then hit it super late, and he paid the price for that. And here goes Marco Bossi from Italy, RRD rider, and he was a little late on that, and he must have seen what happened to Jesse Brown and didn't want to do the same thing. Jesse's a tough guy, Tennessee boy. Not too many windsurfers you see from Tennessee. Of course, the surf's firing there.
What's that feedback? Yeah, they were able to recover from the outage.
Great day for a contest. You guys wouldn't believe, just sitting here is just unbelievably beautiful. And I've lived here for a very long time, and I still love the views and the action of Maui. They have a saying, Maui no ko'oi. No ko'oi means is the best. And there's a reason for it. Again, I'm sure Kai told you earlier, Maui is voted the best island in the world. Won it several times. Because it has everything from playfulness to relaxation to hiking, water sports, you have it all. Okay, Ryan Metcalf-Perez way upwind. He's going to come in and backdoor this wave. Let's see if he can go and hit the lip on this thing with a big aerial. And he does. Nice little aerial. Back into the soup and pulls it off. And he keeps going. That's exactly how you want to run a wave like that. Just finish it off. Keep doing it. Marco Bossi setting up outside. He's got a nice wave. Good turn off the top. Jesse Brown out the back with an even better wave. Here goes Marco, little aerial. He's going to come back in and float in, and he lost it there. Here goes Jesse Brown. Let's see if he can do this one. He's taking a high line. He's going to come around the corner of this. Go for the nice off the top from Jesse. Perfectly digging his rail. 2 off the tops that were really good. Good scoring wave for Jesse Brown. And Marco Perez.
Advancing out of that last heat was Jesse Brown taking it, and Metcalf Perez has it. So those guys are in round 3, and Bossi's out. And good sailing, Marco. Get him next time, bro. And Jesse Brown. I love it, man. That guy just squeaked right through. That's awesome. I mean, took it by storm in that heat. Don't get me wrong, but he missed his first heat, and that shows you how much that mattered. So if you don't feel like waking up early or missing your first heat, you're fine. You just got to make it through that second heat. It's great. More about Jesse Brown. I mean, nobody deserves to be in the main event practically more than him. He's a world-class sailor and a family man. So world-class family man and world-class sailor doesn't always mix. Sometimes you got to prioritize the family. And maybe he had some family priorities there. Either way, it doesn't matter because he's into round 3, and it's as if it never happened this morning. Meanwhile, in this heat, you know, Cookie's He's thrown down a salvo. I'd say Nick Duday kind of lost out on that exchange more than anybody. But when it comes down to it, everybody's got a shot right now with 11 minutes and change left in this heat. Okay, we're gonna let it roll.
Hey, Kai. Kai. Nicole's first name is what?
Cookie.
Cookie, as in C-O-O-K-I-E, as in the cookie?
Cookie Monster.
Yeah?
Yeah. Believe so. Cookie Monster Nicole. Let's just call him Cookie Monster. Well, Cookie Monster needs to get into the game here. He just jibed in the channel. He's not going to get anything here. Nick Duday, on the other hand, is somewhere where there is a way of breaking. And he's going to make this work for him. Duday carving it smoothly. Definitely the pride of Cancun here. He kicks out Lee like a scout on arguably the best set of that exchange. And he starts going to town on it, maybe a little early on that cutback, throws that trademark cutback though. Now he's back into the power portion of that wave. Now he's cutting back and giving it through and through. Jae Hung Lee, riding for Goya. It's really cool, some of these new colors. They go translucent, and the sun goes through, they color up the wave. Look at that little green shadow behind it, so cool. Anyway, that was my little interlude there for my artistic side. Interesting exchange here. Now Cookie Nicole has a section to work with, but he just didn't have enough windup for it, and he's not giving himself a chance to set anything up. He's been in the channel the whole time. Now Chris Freeman, from way outside, finds his second wave here. I gotta give Freeman a lot of credit. He lets all this little scrappy stuff go and finds himself on a set. As will Nick Duday if he can turn around and make this happen. He sees it, he turns. Freeman's gonna set up wave number one of this set, and it's a nugget. And Duday is on a nugget behind it. So let's let this transpire. Freeman setting up, beelining for the bottom of the pocket. Freeman off the bottom with the lip, beckoning, floats over it, makes the landing, upwind. Nick Duday with a little bit more of a stylish carvy style as Freeman completes his wave ride with hit number two. Nick Duday with hit number two on a bigger section, floats it tail first, gives it a look, and says, I'm done. So he got his sinuses cleaned pretty well on that, but he had a good score leading up to that. We give Nick Duday a ton of credit for making a wave ride happen in that. And I'm actually noticing something here, guys, and it might not be what we want to hear, but the wind's dying and it's shifting south. And what's going to happen here is we're going to have some heats right now that are going to walk the borderline. This one might not be the one. It might be 4 heats from now. But I've sailed here for 26 plus years, and I know it when I see it, and the wind is not going to be here forever. Not when you see a guy like Cookie going upwind, not moving. This morning it was onshore, and now it's turning offshore. That's not always a good sign. But we're all professionals here, and we're going to make the most of it. And you can better believe that if it's sailable, we'll be here holding heats. Cookie Nicole, on something of a bigger sail and board combination, has really found himself a pretty nice wave, but he tacks out of it because he realizes he's already done his little one-hit wonders. He needs to put together a wave ride of more than 2 hits. Nick Duday feeling a little bit underpowered on the inside as Cookie just plays the lineup, and now he's on a nugget. So here is Nicole. You can see how he sets his board off the bottom. It's a really clean draw. He's got a lip in front of him. He's going to go climb it with a little extra tweak. That was notable. And, you know, I wasn't expecting that little burst. The little extra tweak he put in there, and the judges are going to notice it because that was a rebound on par with something Jesse Brown did earlier. It's a little more than we expected. I think that put him in a real contending position in this heat, to be honest. He's going to need to back that up with 7 minutes and change to go. And I'm looking for Chris Freeman, but I don't see him, but I do see Lee. And Jay's got, you know, what amounts to a really nice looking wave ride setting up here. So be a little bit of a deeper point wave. And let's just watch him go to town. Freeman's in the channel, so I can find Freeman. Never mind. Here comes Jae Lung Hee with a straight line to the lip, but he kind of chickened out on hitting it. And I'm sorry, guys, but you're going to get some minus points if you stare at a lip and don't hit it in this contest. And he's immediately regretting that. And any of my friends who saw me back down from that lip would give me a mountain for that. But this is a heat, and the judges would have given that a much bigger score had there been some actual lip contact with that, and that's what we expect out here. And And Jae Hung, I'm sure if he'd given a second chance, he would have probably hit that lip. Anyway, enough on that. Here comes Cookie, who's going to back up his one really good score that he just got. Now you can see he's kind of gotten in a flow of a rhythm. Maybe he didn't pick the best wave, and he realizes it because he kicks straight out of that. Nick Duday, originally from Cancun, Mexico, he's setting it up here. Slightly stalling. He's going to let Cookie get out of the way. Freeman gets out of the way. Nick Duday's got it all to himself, and he totally squanders his opportunity. Oh, well, Nick. Nice try next time. Might be a little underpowered. It's only out on a 4-5. Okay? You make your own luck. Like I said, right there, Nick Duday had it all in front of him, and somehow just the inexperience of youth caught up with him there, and he blew his bottom turn and blew a good score. Anyway, you can see he's not killing himself over it with 5 minutes and change and one good wave ride in his belt, as well as Freeman. This is a closer heat than you may realize. And this is for all the marbles, because if you don't make it out of this, game over. Well, as we listen to the antics on the beach with the beach commentators giving prizes away left and right, the action pretty much, it's cooling off a little bit. I mean, we've had isolated moments, but right now you can see a little break in the conditions. And you can see that even Lee standing is straight up, and really the wind is dying. There's no two ways about it. It's dying on the inside. It's going to do two things. It's actually going to clean the waves up a little bit, and it's going to turn this wave riding fast. However, is planing, and he's going to make it through this wind shadow with a scoreable wave riding opportunity. He's got 4 minutes, as does everybody else in this heat. And Freeman, you know, I'll give him a lot of credit because he's really punched a good lip there. Unfortunately, it punched back. Gotta roll these guys, and Freeman's rolling with it. He's going, shoot, that was a really good opportunity for me to take control. And this is in a heat where nobody's really taking control. All up there. Now here comes Nick Duday. Don't be too casual about it, and he loses it. Nick Duday, still a few things to learn about competition. Had selected a good wave, and lets it go. He'll give himself another shot. Here comes Lee, full head of steam. Bottom turns a little early. Kind of outruns that first section because you make the bottom section now. It'll be a hard challenge to do much better than that. Gives it the old hack. Comes in, calls it. Now we're under 3 minutes. In a heat, really, where I keep saying it, no one is taking control. People are kind of leaving this up to chance here. Freeman really had his chance to take control in that heat, and he kind of bogged it. Nick Duday, same thing. You know, you get the feeling if Nicole can just get a nugget, he could really do it. So everybody's on nugget alert here. Today's certainly on nugget alert. Chris Freeman's got a nugget. We're under 2.5 minutes. So this is pretty much close to calling it here. And here's the exchange. Freeman on a smaller insider. Nick Duday's pumping on to what amounts to a really, really solid scoring opportunity. So let's see what Duday does with it here. Duday squares off the bottom, gives it a good look, and he's out. Okay, Cookie Nicole, full head of steam. This is a big chance for him. He's going to get under it. He's going to get the aerial. He's going to fly through this section and make it. Okay. You know, easily puts himself in contention with that based on everything else that's happened. Jay with this sort of forced looking, oh, didn't quite get it. No. So Jae Hung Lee now, he gets the guillotine. he's just put himself in a situation with a minute and a half where he might not get another score. He might not get another opportunity. But any of these four guys right now, they just need to seal the deal. What do we got here is a couple more nuggets are going to come in before day's end. It's definitely on the decline. And even as I look at the wind line, upwind, looks like it's getting windier. What it's doing is it's shifting more offshore. As it shifts off more offshore, it's going to get gustier. It's going to have a few more holes in it. Can't guarantee anything at this point in terms of timing. It's 3 in the afternoon. So, everything to play for, really. We do still have the women coming up after the completion of this round, which all the most likely will take us through the day here. They did release round 3, so that's irreversible.
Overhead wave, just like freakishly just jacked up.
All right, Alex Batoon getting that board all contorted, tweaked out on that ride. Batoon's having a good heat. You know, he's putting his foot down here. He's going, Rick, you know, it's great to have you back, but I'm going to kick your ass. Excuse my language. But that's basically the mentality you have to have. You know, friends are friends. You go out there, you compete. You're going to try and beat the guy. And as nice as it is to see Rick back out here, Alex is going, no, I'm going to take you out. That's what it's about.
Yeah, something easy to eat. Something easy to eat.
That was actually fun.
Good sailing, Chris.
It was actually fun.
Chris Freeman just coming in from his heat, having gotten second in that, and mentioning that he had fun. And gee, wouldn't you know it? If you have fun, you actually do sail pretty good. You know.
Straight off the bat, I'm like, oh, I've actually had a nice wave, so I kind of feel happy now. Like, actually, if I get another one okay, I think I can get through it.
That Judge Chris Freeman with a pretty solid heat in the pros gets a second place result out of that. And yeah, I mean, he's just saying it himself. You know, the wave selection played a really key factor in there. Having fun aside, the point is that you got to get the best waves in that heat to make a dent. You got to get the judges, you know, on your side. You got to win them over a little bit.
I had 2 waves, and I looked, I watched, and it's like 5 minutes left. I was like, where's that 10 minutes gone?
2 minutes and 45 seconds left in this heat. Rick Markin versus Alex Batoon. And what you're seeing here is one of those, you know, kind of positional battles. Batoon can't get this. Rick probably won't get it either. And yes, I mean, this is definitely relative to the conditions deteriorating. However, Alex Batoon, as soon as I say he can't get it, he gets it. He basically wills his way into this and goes to the channel for his one hit, which he is going to get. And that's pretty well done for Batoon. Rick Markham, however, under the lip, over the lip, and into the channel, hooks it up.
And then it's like, the first wave is so much longer. Yeah. Because after that you can't get high enough up. So like,
As you watch the empty lineup at Ho'okipa Beach Park here, 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this heat. I think it's pretty safe to say that that might be it. We'll see if Batoon can get this last gust and get into the lineup. I wouldn't say it's decided, but it's looking fairly in Alex's favor here. I would think Rick really needs to put together a really strong wave ride to bust into the first place position in this. That being said, if I understand correctly, both these guys are going to make it through this heat. And until I'm told otherwise, that's what's going to happen. So this has been a bit of an exhibition, a bit of free sailing for us. Anything but a waste of time. This was definitely fun to watch. Really good to see Rick Markham out there. "30 seconds left in this heat." And you know, what are you looking at here is basically anybody with any level of experience right now could turn this into a battle. And Rick Markham right here really has it right down on the bottom with seconds left in this heat. Nice. We're happy to have you back, Rick Markham. That's a heck of an effort right there. Hats off to you, bud. But I think Batoon got you in that one. Not that it really matters. Someone tell me what's going on in here. No clue. Alrighty then. Let's see who's in this heat. We've got Talma, the action man, back in action. Mike Archer, Spanu, and Fabrice Beau. That's who I was trying to figure out was in this heat. And I think the heat just started, actually. So game on with the heat. And here goes Fabrice Beau on the first wave of his heat with Brian Talma right behind him. Fabrice Beau taking the H-Poco section and turning it into a good score there. That was a 2-hit wave with the aerial. Brian Talma's got a long line on this medium-sized nugget coming into H-Poco. He gets off the bottom, but it avoids. Nope, he doesn't get it. Doesn't get that final end bowl hit. So Fabrice Beau, that early charge in this heat. While Fabrice Beau makes his way out on his RRD and Nail Pride kit, we're also watching a couple competitors come in. There's Hawks Batoon on his way back in. Brian Talma's making his way upwind. And Spano, he's playing a tactical game himself. He's got himself upwind, waiting for whatever could come his way. Meanwhile, Mikey Archer on the Simmer Blacktip upwinds, just squeaking out. This situation really does not favor him because it is quite light. He's a big bloke. So I would say that once Archer gets out, he's going to have a chance to demonstrate his style. But right now, Spano is taking the high line to the H-Poco Bowl, and he's going to sprack it off the top and gets the tail first landing in the whitewater, hangs on, and that's going to be a good score. Not easy to do, you guys. If you look where Fabrice Beau is right now, wind hole. And then you look at Brian Talma, wind line. And these things are they're gonna play each other off. I mean, it's back and forth, inside and out. Really no way to tell definitively, you know, who has the distinct advantage until the scores start dropping. Talma, however, really on a nice looking wave. And it comes kind of at the expense of Archer, who gets caught inside. But meanwhile, Brian linking this really solidly. And right behind him is Fabrice Beau, who knows a thing or two about sailing in offshore winds. Because here he comes, and as the apparent wind builds in his sail, he's going to load it up towards the point. And he gets under it and over the lip and does a floater landing. That's good stuff from Fabrice Beau. And we like that. We like a little action like that. Same thing with Brian. That was good action, not to use the term overly. Spano planes right by Archer, who is yet to even make it out into the lineup. And, you know, I did overhear what equipment choice he had and board. Maybe it's a little too sinky for him, hard to say. There is a set on the outside. Spano's kind of just squeaking through. Archer's definitely not outside yet. And Spano just says, hey, I've got this to myself. Nugget alert, and there it is. Really solid effort. Here's Spano, really, you know, playing for keeps here. Spano off the bottom. Makes contact with the top. Continues his wave ride. Barely gets back in. Offshore winds fighting him up the face, but he drops back in for hit number 2. Lines it up the bottom and punches. That was too late. And that might have foiled his best scoring chance so far, as Mike Archer is outside. Everybody at home in England, you can cheer. Mike Archer is in scoring position now. He's just needs to get away. Brian Tama on the point, really impressing me with his loose style. Picking up some scores too, you know, he's playing for keeps here. Doesn't quite make the connections, doesn't quite get all the rides he could have gotten on that, but it was still good. And Brian, you know, he wants to make it through here. He's got every reason to think he's got, you know, the right stuff to make it through. All these guys want to compete. Part of the reward is sailing